To everyone who stands with me here today, I want to begin by saying how much your presence matters. Sharing this part of my life with you isn't easy, but knowing you're here, listening, engaging, and connecting, gives me strength to speak the truth of what I lived through. Discovering my partner's unfaithfulness was like being trapped inside a nightmare that refused to let me wake. It was so surreal that for a moment I almost believed it couldn't be my life. But it was, my marriage, my heart, my reality, that collapsed under the weight of one careless mistake, an unlocked phone. A string of messages, laced with words that seared into me forever, read, * last night was unforgettable. I'm counting down to our next moment, * just 10 words, but they ripped apart 10 years of love and loyalty. When I confronted her, she didn't even attempt to deny it. With cold indifference, she looked me in the eyes and said, "I stopped loving you years ago." No apology, no tears, only a detached shrug that somehow stung deeper than the betrayal itself. That night, I grabbed my keys and left. My destination wasn't home, it was my office. At first, I thought it was temporary, maybe 1 or 2 nights. But surrounded by my desk, spreadsheets, and the silence of the inbox, I found something I couldn't feel at home: safety. My office didn't lie to me. It didn't break me. Of course, my nightly retreats didn't go unnoticed. My boss, Clara, a poised, commanding woman in her 40s, picked up on it quickly. One evening, after the last of the staff had gone, she stopped by my desk. With a teasing but concerned tone, she asked, "Are you setting up camp here for good?" I forced a weak smile, murmuring something about work. She didn't buy it. Crossing her arms, she tilted her head. "Don't feed me that excuse. You've been here night after night. What's keeping you in this empty place instead of being at home?" Her words cut through me. All I managed to say was, "It's messy." She didn't push. She simply said, "Messy can eat you alive if you let it. Don't let it take you down." Then she left, her heels echoing through the quiet hall. Clara had a way of seeing through masks. A few days later, she showed up again, this time with 2 steaming mugs of coffee. Setting one in front of me, she said, "You're not fooling me. Either tell me what's really happening, or we'll sit in silence with this coffee until you do." Her blunt kindness broke through my walls. Piece by piece, I shared everything: the texts, the betrayal, the emptiness I carried like a shadow. She listened, not with pity, but with strength. When I finished, she leaned back and told me, "She's the one who lost something here. You're stronger than you think." For the first time in weeks, I felt seen, not as a failure, not as someone discarded, but as a person who still had worth. From then on, Clara refused to let me sink into isolation. Some nights, we drank coffee together, avoiding painful topics and speaking of life instead. Other nights, her young assistant Jenna joined us, her laughter infectious, her energy a reminder that joy still existed. The 3 of us shared food, stories, and companionship. Slowly, I learned how to breathe again. At first, it wasn't about love. It was about survival, having people who wouldn't let me fade away. Yet the more time I spent with them, the more I began to piece myself back together. One night, after Jenna had left, I stayed in Clara's office. The glow of city lights filtered through the windows as we sat in silence. Finally, she spoke, "You can't keep punishing yourself for her choices." I looked down, admitting, I don't even know who I am without her. Clara leaned closer, her eyes sharp yet gentle. "Then it's time to find out." That was the challenge I didn't know I needed. My wife had stopped seeing me years ago, but Clara refused to let me disappear. She walked around her desk and said something that still echoes, "Come with me instead." She wasn't asking me to have an affair, she was